Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Uh, and hopefully this works out well. It doesn't look too inviting here, but let's go ahead and get started with lesson chapter 2, lesson 5. We're going to compare and order fractions, decimals, and percents. I'm going to be trying to be consistent in my message. I'll probably maybe show you a couple different ways to do it, but certainly going to be relying on the calculator. Let's go ahead and get circled up if you're at home. All right. So I'm going to jump clear to the homework, which is going to take me to page um, 133. So for homework tonight, we have numbers 1 through 11. Okay. And we're still circling. And I'm going to fully turn this over. And here's 10 and 11. Now we're not going to do this, but we are going to jump to numbers 16 to 26. You can see that there, 16. And I'll jump around and do some problems with you. This is a good lesson. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's have some fun with it. All right, lesson 5. All right. So anyway, let me adjust my deal there. Anyway, what we're going to do is go through these first 3 problems here, and we're going to go ahead and order these fractions from least to greatest. Now, we can change the fractions to a fraction with all like denominators. That's one way to do it. We can change them all to percents, or we can change them all to decimals. I'm going to start with the decimals. I like using the decimals. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get set up. 4/5, 1/2, 9/10, and 3/4. Now, a lot of you notice that you're going to start to recognize these decimals a lot easier, okay, after seeing them. But let's go ahead and switch this out. And if it's real noticeable like these two, I'm just going to write them down. But 4/5. So 4 and over D5 to the right, right? And then I want to switch that to a decimal. So it's second n over D. That's all reviewing. You're going to notice that that's 8/10. Okay. 1/2 you should know is 5/10. 9/10 is 9/10, right? And it's 0.9. But anyway, if you need to see that, there it is. Second n over D. And you're going to see that that's 0.9. And 3/4 is another very recognizable decimal of 75/100. So we want these least to greatest. So we're looking for the smallest decimal here, and it's certainly going to be 1/2. Right? So when I do this, I guess I didn't leave myself much room. So I guess I'll write it right here, 1/2, right? Next will be, and I like to X that off. Next will be 0.8, 0.9, 0.7, 3/4. Then after 3/4 is 4/5. And then finally 9/10. I like to write them in the original form, but I'm comparing the decimals. So that's certainly one way to do it. That's probably my favorite way to do it. But we'll go with percents next. All right. Cora spends 2/3 of her time blogging on the internet. Leah spends 60% of her time blogging on the internet. Who spends more time? Well, really, now I've got apples and oranges, and I'm going to switch this to a percent. Okay. So I know I have 60%, right? Which one is bigger, 60% or 2/3? So let's use our calculator. 2 n over D3 to the right. And what I'm going to do is change that to a percent. So I'm going to hit the second function of the percent button. And there it went. And there it is. And you're noticing that it's 66 and 6/10 repeating percent. So we have to write that correctly. Now, 6606. Clearly, the 2/3 is more. So Cora spends more time. Cora. Remember, you want to go from left to right on your comparison. Okay. The table shows the wins for some middle school football teams. Which team had the greatest fraction of wins? So which one of these is the greatest, right? And what I'm going to do is just switch this is already a decimal, so I'm going to leave it alone, right? I'm going to switch these to a decimal. Well, we had this one back here, 9/10, and we found that it was 9/10. And then really to switch a percent to a decimal, we learned this last lesson, we just move it to the left And really, that's 95 hundredths. So this is 0.89. So when we compare decimals, it's left to right. That's the smallest, 0.9, 0.9. If I annex a 0, the 5 is greater than the 0. So which team had the greatest fraction of wins? The Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. Why? Because 95 hundredths is greater than 9/10. Let's continue our path here and do a couple more problems on the homework. And excuse me, there's a couple different ways to do this. My favorite way to do these is just a real simple cross multiplication. We need a less than, greater than, or equal to sign, right? So we can get a common denominator. We can switch these to decimals or percents, but another way to do this is just cross multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 3 is 9. 5 is less than 9, so this is a less than sign. 1/3 is less than 3/5, right? And that's usually the favorite way to do it. Here we go. 1 times 12 is 12. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 is greater than 12, right? Now, here we have to be careful, right? We have 1/4. This is 4/10. If you needed your calculator, you could use it, but now just write it down. 4/10 is 4/10. 1 times 10 is 10. 4 times 4 is 16. Clearly, it is a less than sign, right? Same thing here. 7/10, 7/9, right? 7/10, 0.7 is 7/10. 7 times 9 is 63. The power of multiplication facts. 7 times 10 is 70. 70 is bigger than 63, but 7/10 is less than 7/9. Okay. We already did one like this. Maybe let's drop down in here to number 8 here and maybe do a couple more here. I don't want to do them all with you, but I do want to give you a good start on the homework. 3 snacks bars contain 1/5, 22 hundredths, and 19% of their calories from fat. Which snack bar has the least, and I'm going to underline that, amount of calories from fat? So which one of these is the smallest? Well, is it 1/5? And I'm going to draw a line. Is it 22 hundredths? Or is it 19%? Well, 19% as a decimal is 2 to the left, and that's 0.19. This is already a decimal, and I'm just going to rewrite that. And now I need to figure out what 1/5 is, right? So I go 1 n over d5 to the right, and I want to change that to a decimal, and there we go. And it's 2/10. So 0.2, 0.2, 0.1. 19% is the smallest, right? So you're kind of getting an idea here. So really, it's more just application of what we've done in the last few units, the last few lessons, and you're going to be getting into more of this the same here. So anyway, I hope that helped. We've circled up, and the homework is due for Monday. Have a good day, guys.